Hey guys, I want to do a VR for Mark over at Sameold77. He's doing a 477 subscriber giveaway. I looked this morning and he was right at 580 something, I think. So that's awesome, Mark. You deserve every one of your subscribers. Doing a great job on your channel. Uh, he wants to see a VR of your most memorable outdoor experience, or just talk about it. And I've thought a lot about it, and I've had so many great experiences over the years. It's hard to pick one. I can't say that one experience is my most memorable, but I'll tell you about the first one that came to mind. Back in 2003, my dad and I we used to hunt on the same deer lease, and I still hunt on that deer lease. Our stands were about 600 yards apart, and he would drop me off and then he'd drive on to his stand and do his hunting. My stand was located in a wooded area with very mature trees, and you could easily see 100 yards through the trees, get a good clean shot at animals as they come through. And I used to never feed. It is legal to bait here in Texas, but in that particular spot, I used to not feed because animals would always be coming through. There have been several times I've seen deer just come in and bed down and just watch them lay there, But it was Hurricane Rita that took care of that for me. Hurricane Rita devastated that place, and now I just got a little path cleared out from my stand to my feeder, and I feed now because if you don't get something coming to that corn, there's no way you'd see any animals unless you got x-ray vision or something and see through all the brush. But anyways, it was 2003, sitting there hunting, I saw a hog walking through the woods, so of course I'm going to shoot it. And I put the rifle up and I waited for him to come between a couple trees where I had a clear shot, and I squeezed the trigger, and that hog, he just stood there. He stopped walking, he stood there, and he looked around a little bit, and he just kept on walking real slow, and I was really amazed that he didn't run off or anything. And he walked into a little bit thicker area, and I found a triangle in between some trees and some brush. And I just put my crosshairs right there in the center of that triangle, and I waited on him to walk through. And as soon as his head got past, I squeezed that trigger. He went down just like that, and his tail started twitching. So I knew I had a good shot. And when I walked up to him, I couldn't believe how big he was. He had to be poking about 400 pounds. I wasn't able to get a weight on him. It was a big hog. Anyways, I went ahead and gutted it right there where it laid, and a little bit of time passed. My dad came by to pick me up, and he asked, well, what'd you shoot? I heard you shoot twice. I said, I just got a little hog. I don't know what's going on with my phone. So, anyways, my dad got there. I told him it was just a little hog, and when he walked up and seen it, he couldn't believe how big it was either. And there's a logging road not too far from where I shot it, so we're going to try to drag it up to that logging road and then get it in the truck. And we tied a rope to his snout, and then I found a piece of a dead tree limb or whatever on the ground. And we tied that rope to that tree limb, and we each got on one side of that tree limb, and we'd push, trying to drag it. And if he pushed hard, it'd throw me back, and if I pushed real hard, it'd throw him back. We couldn't get that hog to move. It was just too heavy. So he was able to turn his truck sideways on that old logging road, and once he got it sideways on the road, he could only pull forward and back maybe 5 or 6 feet. It wasn't very much because it had already regrown pretty good. And we had a rope in the truck, so we were able to tie that rope on his snout, and then he would back up, and I'd wrap around the trailer hitch, and he'd pull forward 5 or 6 feet, whatever he could, and he'd back up, and I'd reattach the rope, and we did that for a while until we finally got the hog up there next to that old logging road. And there was no way we could pick that hog up, put it in the truck, so we ended up taking a ratchet strap and a little game hoist, and we put the ratchet strap on one hind leg and that game hoist on the other, and we ratcheted and pulled, and we finally got that hog in the back of the truck. We probably spent an hour and a half just getting that thing in the back of that truck. That was a lot of work. And of course we come home and hung it up, skinned it. I got a picture of it. We hung it up to skin it. That's the only thing I got left to remember that hog by. I wish my dad had gotten in the picture, but he was stubborn and didn't want to be in the picture. If only I could change that now, but you know, that's the way things go, I guess. But, anyways, you know, I got it home, I skinned it, and I cut up all the meat, and I bagged everything up, got everything in the freezer, and I took the head and the skin and everything, and I drove it off in the woods of my four-wheeler and dumped it. And as I was laying there in bed that night, I got to thinking, man, I wish I could have skinned that head out and kept that skull. He had tusk about that long on each side. And the next morning I went back out there to look, and there wasn't nothing but a grease spot on the ground and a few pieces of skin. I guess the coyotes had dug everything off. And one other thing I forgot to mention, the hog, there's some guys that'll trap hogs, and if there's any boars, they'll castrate them and they'll turn them back loose. And that's what had happened with this hog. It was a male hog, but it had been castrated, so all the meat was good. It didn't have any bad taste to it or anything, and he had fat about that big, I mean about that thick all the way around him. So it was a very good eating hog. So that was a really awesome experience, and like I say, I got so many outdoor experiences I could just go on for hours. That was the first one that came to mind when I saw Mark's video. So y'all go check him out. I'll put a link to his channel in the description. And thank y'all for watching.